We live in a fantasy world now. Reality has been destroyed.
This is the time that we really need to pay attention.
The probabilities are overwhelmingly on gold's side. That is the best environment to see gold increase its value.
Welcome to Palisade's Gold Radio. I'm your host, Tom Bodrovics. Joining me today is Gerald Celente, publisher of the Trends Journal. He has 45 years of experience as a trends forecaster and founder of the Trends Research Institute. And he's also the author of best-selling books, Trends 2000 and Trends Tracking. Gerald, thanks for joining me today. How are you?
Well, I'm all right, but the world is a mess. So thank you so much for having me on.
It's always a pleasure to speak with you, Gerald. And, you know, the world is a mess. You know, before we hit record here this morning, I was just commenting to you that, you know, there is so much negative going on. I wish there was something positive, but we really have to, I think, focus on understanding the world as it is rather than the world that we want, right?
Yeah, it's a freak show. Pick your country and look at the freak running the show. You know, you got that little nothing of a boy over there in the UK, Starmer, and who was before him, Boris Johnson. The best cartoonist in the world couldn't come out with a clownier little piece of crap than Boris Johnson, and now you got a gutless little boy over there. What do you got over there in France? Macron, the little garçon with the fake hair, and if he has a pecker, it's this big. If he has one at all, his wife beating him up. Arrogant little scum. Oh, what they got in Germany now? Merz? Oh, where did he come from? Oh, the BlackRock Group? Oh, and we got to build our military with the Russians may invade Europe. Yeah, Heil Merz. Oh, what in Germany? You only killed 25 million of them in World War II? Operation Barbarossa? It's one little piece of scum running a country near you. And it breaks my heart. It breaks my, and the guys have lost their fight. They suck up to the crap they want to hear. And if you don't suck up to the crap that they swallow, how dare you not swallow the crap that I love to swallow? I'm a repulsive kid. I'm a Democrat. I got a mind that big and a pair of cojones smaller than Georgie Bush's, all right? That's the way I see it.
Mm-hmm. Gerald, do you think that's more a symptom of the incentives involved as to how we've gotten all of these world leaders? Or, you know, is it more of a chance selection?
It's been going on forever. Look what just happened in the UK. They just had that little piece of shit. A little piece of shit. King Charles III went to Canada and sat on a throne with his little medals. And what king? If he was an Italian, they'd call it the mafia, the royal family, murderous bastards for centuries. Why the sun never sets on the British Empire? We kill and steal all over the world. Look at the little clown dressed up in his drag costume. King, royalty. This shit's been going on forever. And roll out the red carpet. Oh, matter of fact, when Zelensky was in Germany with Maersk, you look at the picture. Big red carpets rolled out, and all these little boys dressed up in their drag costumes saluting. What's your favorite war? You like the Peloponnesian War? I like the 100-Year War. Oh, the War of Roses was so lovely. What's your favorite crusade? This shit's been going on for beginning of time. They're murderers and thieves. They're low-life pieces of scum that people call politicians. Again, I was the assistant to the Secretary of the New York State Senate. I worked on major political campaigns in Westchester County back in the 70s. I got a picture when I picked up Ronald Reagan at the Chicago Hilton and put on a brunch for 16 of our board of directors when I was 30 years old. I've been with presidents, prime ministers, and princes. It's a fucking freak show. And the freaks are running the show. Mm-hmm. End of story.
Gerald, you put lots of work into the Trends Journal. One of the main pieces that you put out very regularly, and inherent in the name is your work on the trends that are affecting everything from the economy to the markets, freedoms, peace. So what are some of the top trends for 2025 that you identified that are having the most impact so far this year?
Two of them. Again, I've been at this for 45 years. Every year we do our top trends. Never, ever did we have a top trend as wild card. And it's a wild card. And the Trump card. The wild card and the Trump card. They're being played in front of everybody's eyes. By the way, I had lunch with Donald Trump's brother back in 2017. His brother, Robert, passed away recently, a couple of years ago. I was there for about 3 hours. They were running a restaurant over here in Passaic, which is across the river from Kingston on the other side over here. Nice guy. He passed in the street, just a regular guy. He goes on to tell me that when the father died, he left the family over $500 million worth of real estate. Trump is nothing more than a spoiled daddy's boy with a bad attitude. We're the same age. The biggest threat, one of my books, by the way, you can get this on our site at trendsjournal.com. What Zidzi gave Honey Boy. Zidzi is the Neapolitan dialect for auntie. Z is aunt, Zidzi is your auntie. I write about how as I was a kid, they couldn't control. I was the youngest of 5, born right after the war in the Bronx. If you're not from the Bronx, man, it's a different trip. They couldn't control me. I ran away from kindergarten at 4.5 years old, across the Boston Post Road. They used to threaten me, you little bastard, we had enough of your shit, you're going to military school. I'll be good. You think I'm going to go to military school? Trump was so arrogant, they sent him to military school in Cornwall, New York, just about 30 minutes south of us in Kingston over here, in the middle of nowhere. Imagine being a teenager. Time to go to bed. Time to get up. Put on your costume. Eat crappy food. He was so arrogant, so narcissistic, they sent him to military school. All right? And he has that same attitude. Again, born on third base, thought he had a home run. And when you look at the whole crew, that's all it is. As George Carlin used to say, it's one big club and you ain't in it.
Gerald, how do you see the tariff threats materializing and actually changing how the U.S. does business and operates?
First of all, I agree with tariffs. Once upon a time, there was manufacturing in America. And this is one of my T-shirts, by the way, that I did. Could you see that?
Yeah.
Beware of Slick Willie, 1992, when he ran for office. Get them jobs out of America. Bring them down to Mexico. You're going to get cheap labor. You'll make a lot more money, and you give it to me. You pay me off, all right? I get paid $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 an hour to bullshit for free. It's called payback, all right? NAFTA. They used to have manufacturing where I am in Kingston, shirt factories, Gant, all over all gone. Rust belts. We used to have manufacturing here. Then that scum brought China into the World Trade Organization. They officially came in 2 weeks after 9/11. China's GDP for like 1970 to 2000 was like this. And boop, not all the manufacturers, loads of the manufacturers from the United States and Europe went over there to get cheap labor. I believe in the tariffs, but I don't think they're going to work because it's a different America than again, I write about the America that used to be in this book. It's not the same America anymore. It's not, my uncles owned fish stores and butcher shops. They started from nothing. The middle class is dead. It's Slavelandia now. Matter of fact, the article in the Trends Journal this week, one of the articles about let me find it over here, about how the rich are getting richer. Let me see, where is it? Anyway, the millionaire class in the United States keeps increasing, and the people keep getting poorer. Let's see, inflation, new claims for jobs benefit, Congress fails, pending home sales dive, McMansion days are over. Here we go. U.S. is home to a third of the world's millionaires and billionaires. All right? Again, they did away with all the antitrust laws, particularly this Slick Willie, that every time he got caught with his pants down, bombs away over Baghdad. They did away with all these antitrust laws that allowed the bigs to get bigger. When I was a young guy, there were things called hardware stores, stationery stores, drug stores, shoe stores. Now they're all chains. All right? He did away with all. Oh, let me find this 1 second here. This is the New York Times that you pay $6 for the Sunday edition. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
This is the business section. They
Jobs will never be the same.
There used to be copy. There used to be print. He passed the Federal Communications Act in 1996. There were thousands of independent radio stations, newspapers, TV stations, etc. All gone. 6 companies control 92% of the American media. Yeah, page after page. This is what you pay $6 for. All right? The paper record, how about the toilet paper record? And when I can't stand politicians and I say what I feel, this is a t-shirt that you could also get at Trends Journal. Could you read that?
Mm-hmm. Who are you? Who the F are you to tell me what to do?
Hey, politicians.
Mm-hmm. with a middle finger. Yeah.
Yep. And that's what it is. You got a bunch of freaks in charge. All they're interested in themselves. Let's go back to Trump. Look what he did with go back to his quotes that we have in the magazine about how he was against Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Hey, but now my kid's in the business, all right? And we're coming up with a meme coin, right? Oh, we got Lutnick and Witkoff over there, two of the people in his the Commerce Secretary and the Middle East Envoy. Their kids in the business too. So we said when Trump came in, watch Bitcoin spike. He got over $100 million from the crypto club. Again, money talks, bullshit walks. Mm-hmm. And the money's talking. If there was no, and by the way, the world is gonna go digital. They're gonna know every penny you spent, what you spent it on, where you spent it, more information about you. Most important, their politicians, all they do is suck off the public take. They want your tax money. And now they know every penny that you got, and they'll get it. So the world's gonna go digital. AI is the future. If there was no Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, gold prices would be double what they are now. And as we're speaking now, they're about $3,370 an ounce. One of our top trends for 2024, golden year for gold, gold went up 27%, and it's gone up again. We see gold easily hitting $4,000 a year this year, $4,000 an ounce rather this year. Mm-hmm. Not easily, possibly, but definitely well over $3,500 an ounce. The future is so uncertain, and that's why I began him. It's in my book, Trend Tracking. I began buying gold when the Iranian conflict broke out in late 1970s, and I bet that gold and oil prices would go up, and I started betting the futures markets, and I did very well. So I've been following gold since then. You got the Ukraine war. I got blacklisted from TikTok because we published that. I said, Ukraine's going to ramp up this war against Russia. They're going to attack deeper inside, and possibly a false flag event and or a bombing of a nuclear power plant. Oh, now what's happened? Oh, they just took out over 40 Russian planes. bomb 4 airfields, and bombing deep inside of Russia. They're going to keep ramping this war up as Europe is. This is why gold prices are going up. And then the Israel war.
And that was, they did that bombing and that strategic strike the day before they were supposed to enter peace negotiations, right?
Yeah.
So that, I think that really shows the hand that they want to come to the table with. But why do you think that, let's say, Europe and NATO want to propagate and continue that war?
Because they're sick, demented pieces of crap. I just gave you the names of them.
But I understand
they're mentally deranged. You ask a mentally deranged person why they're mentally deranged. All right.
But is it because maybe Europe sees that as a possible way out of the debt and the economic situation they have? Like, there's got to be a deeper reason than that, Gerald.
There's not. They're enriching the military-industrial complex. Germany, the third largest economy in the world, has been in a recession for 2 years. Mm-hmm. All right, they're entering into their third year. Hey, we're going to borrow $1 trillion to build up our military because we got to stop them Russians. Oh, we're going to fix the infrastructure so the tanks could go in the UK, one after another, building up their military. And the BS coming out is that it's going to build up their economy. Like you said, the economies are going down. No, it's not. Mm-hmm. Economies are built up when the products that are produced are bought by consumers. These products are only enriching the military-industrial complex. Got it? Mm-hmm. They're not going to build the economy. They're going to drain it more. And a total waste of money. More planes, more tanks, more ships. It'll be nuclear annihilation. With this book, Trends 2000, they had me down at Virginia Military Institute back in 2000, talking about what I've been writing about new millennium warfare. Back then, it's different warfare. Oh, the Chinese just came out with a drone that puts in another 200 drones to shoot out. All this is a waste of money, what they're doing. All they're doing here. Once upon a time, there was a guy by the name of Dwight D. Eisenhower, 5-star general, supreme commander of the Allied forces in World War II and 2-term president. The military-industrial complex is robbing the nation of the genius of the scientists, sweat of the laborers, and the future of the children. All right? And there they're doing it again. And that little Mertz clown, that little freaky little piece of shit, you know what he keeps talking about? We're building up, quote, the military-industrial complex.
Gerald, you mentioned that Germany has been in recession for 2 years now.
Yep.
You also highlighted that the OECD lowered global growth projections and said that the slowdown is concentrated in the US, Canada, and Mexico. Is this not more so a worldwide slowdown?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Let's go back. Tracking trends is making connections between different fields. Mm-hmm. People on the street, they know everything about the economic world they have to know about, but they don't know the details of the geopolitical world. So let's go back. Let's go back to 2000, January. China launches the COVID war on the Chinese Lunar New Year, the year of the rat. 3 years of zero COVID policy. They lock down the nation, and they know everything that you're doing. Cameras, everything. You couldn't do what they didn't tell you to do. They destroyed the lives and livelihoods of hundreds of millions of people. The world has not come back from the COVID war. Now let's go back to China. I said before Bill Clinton brought him in, their GDP was like that. Boom, skyrocketed. With all booms, there's a bust. Depending on whose numbers you look at, there are between 25 to 90 million empty apartments in China. They overbuilt it. Making a bad situation worse, they locked down the joint for 3 years, zero COVID policy. Yes, look at their manufacturing numbers that just came out. Negative. like 46. Anything under 50 is a decline. Look at luxury sales. The fish rots from the head down. We write about this every week in the Trends Journal for like 2 years. And let's see, one of them over here, Trends in Geopolitics. Let's find the geopolitical and economic trends here. Yeah, Spotlight, lean times for the luxury industry. Prada, one after another. Sale. Why? They had a booming business when China was booming. No more. And because of all of the geopolitical tensions, people don't want to buy anything in China other than made in China. They don't want to buy from other countries. Going back, people sometimes they say, I make predictions. Nobody can predict the future. There are too many wild cards. May they be made by nature or by humans. I believe the 20th century was the American century because the business, and the 21st century would be the Chinese century because the business of America has been war and the business of China is business. They changed it when they launched the COVID war. So it's going down, as you said, yes, the global economy is in total slowdown. And it's a bad situation is becoming much worse with the tariffs wars. But again, what are they calling Trump now? Taco? And what is Trump always
Pickens out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Gerald,
we don't know where it's going to go. It's back to the wild card.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another reason why gold prices are going up. But now this is very important. As I said, before China came into the World Trade Organization, they were nothing. In 2000, 10% of their 18-year-olds went to college. Today, nearly 70%. What does this have to do? It has to do a lot with AI. AI is the future. Hate it, love it, want it, don't want it. Trend forecast, this is not what you want, what you like, it's what is. Mm-hmm. The world is going AI, and China's going to lead the AI race because young people are totally AI high-tech addicted, and they're going to college for it. America's going down. Less kids are going to college. We got 347 million. They got 1.4 billion, and they're very intelligent. They're going to lead the world in AI. There's going to be a dot-com bust 2.0 in this country. They overinvested. Trends are born, they grow, they mature, reach old age, and die. The AI trend was only born 3 years ago in 2022. You don't invest all your money in the first car companies or any of the first companies, and that's what they did. They overinvested in the IPOs, the IPO wannabes, and many of the other AI. We had a copy over here. We had forecast dot-com bust back in 1999. We said it would bust by the second quarter of 2000, and it did. And so that's very important because it's going to bring down the equity markets. And again, we've also said Trump is going to do everything he can to lower interest rates. He did it before. He'll do it again. Go back to 2018 when he was president. The Dow had the worst December since the Great Depression. The worst December since the Great Depression. What did he do? He forced Powell to lower interest rates, and Powell lowered them in 2019. Now what just happened? Trump came out again and said calling Powell a jerk or something. He got to lower interest rates. They're going to lower interest rates to juice up the economy. The lower interest rates go, the deeper the dollar falls. The deeper the dollar falls, the higher gold prices go up because gold is dollar-based. So as the other currencies go up, it's cheaper to buy more gold, and the dollar's going down. The death of the dollar has begun. The BRICS have had enough. The world has had enough of the United States' economic and geopolitical hegemony.
Gerald, how does this also play into the oil price? If we see more of an escalation in the Middle East and Iran, Yemen, Israel, that whole melting pot continues to escalate, what do we see from the oil price, and what does that do to the world economy?
Actually, what we write in the Trends Journal, we see oil prices going around $65 a barrel now for Brent. They'll go to easily $120 plus, and it'll crash the global economy and the equity markets.
Mhm.
And they're going to ramp up this war. We said that this talk with Iran is just a bunch of BS from the United States, just like the talk about peace is a bunch of crap in Gaza. They support the genocide, the United States. It all just talk. And again, now you're hearing it from Iran. No, we're not going to close down our nuclear facilities. And Israel's going to keep ramping up the war. They did it before. They're going to do it again. If the United States and Israel go to war against Iran, it's also going to be the beginning of the end of life on earth. There are 91 million Iranians versus 7 million Jewish people in Israel. You don't have to be good at math to figure this out. Iran is very advanced technologically, scientifically, and militarily. They'll wipe out Israel. And Israel says if they lose, they're using the Samson option, SAMSON. They have between 200 to 400 nuclear warheads, and they're going nuclear if they start losing this war. There's not a word about peace. I mentioned all the millionaires and multimillionaires and billionaires, not a penny for peace. Not a penny for peace. I launched a movement called Occupy Peace over a decade ago. I had rallies here with Judge Napolitano, Scott Ritter, one after another, like Ralph Nader. I'm doing everything I can. Warren Buffett's son, Peter Buffett, was one of the tenants in my building, his Novo Foundation. I have 3 pre-Revolutionary War stone buildings on the most historic 4 corners in America up here in Kingston. He's my tenant for about 10 years. Never gave me a penny for peace. Not a penny. Not a penny, not a penny, not a penny. If the billionaires gave money for peace, we'd have it tomorrow. But they're just pieces of crap, only interested in themselves. And my greatest concern is nuclear annihilation, and Russia's warned it already. They said they're going to go nuclear if they get attacked. They said it.
And that's because war is more profitable than peace.
Yeah. They're mentally arrogant people, all right? All right? That's all they are. They're mentally arrogant people. Oh, that guy, what's his name? Buffett's partner, Charlie Munger, died last year. What did he take all those billions of dollars? He built a big casket and took it with him. All right. What's Musk doing? What's Bezos doing? What are they doing? Nothing. Nothing for peace. And here's the deal. I've been at this a long time. Facts don't mean crap. As we say in the Bronx, people don't know dick about shit. We need a renaissance. We need to bring back the spirit of what this country used to be. Again, with my parents' generation. And what happened in following the Black Plague when 60% of Europe was wiped out? The Renaissance. Mm-hmm. But you can't make it happen without the Medicis, the banksters of the day. They made the money, gave them the money to make the art happen. Alla Romana et all'antica, in the manner of the Romans and the ancients, they said to describe the quality of their work. Imagine. The Romans and the ancients. And now it's all ugly crap. I'm disgusted. New York City, bunch of steel and glass crap destroyed the beauty of the place all over the world. Ugly crap being built. No more quality, no more style. When I was a young guy, they had the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. Now you don't have to step right up, see the fat man, see the tattooed lady, see the lady with the beard. You don't have to pay to see it anymore. They're out in the street everywhere. All right? We need a renaissance. We need to bring back the true human spirit of why everybody in the world wanted to come to this country. It's gone. The music, they used to call Louis Armstrong the ambassador of goodwill during the Cold War, going all over the world. And now I got to hear Beyonce or Taylor Swift. What are you kidding me? All this. Yeah, they got it wrong. In the King James Bible, they say the meek shall inherit the earth. They misspelt it. The geeks have inherited the earth. All this synthetic crap. Again, going back to AI and everything else. You go out now, you go to a bar, everybody's on their phone. I watch people eat, talking on their phone. Hey, you're really enjoying your food, aren't you? I don't carry a cell phone. I did work for the cellular telecommunications industry going back to the 90s. I've been studying the radio frequency radiation of these things since then. Oh, not my language, from Berkeley, University of California, Berkeley. If you're on a cell phone for 17 minutes a day for 10 years, your chances of getting a brain tumor only increase by 60%. And you go on and on, 5G. So I don't carry a cell phone. Everybody's addicted. We need a renaissance. We need to bring back the spirit of life. That's the only way I see it happening.
Gerald, I know we're coming up against time here. What piece of advice would you like people that are paying attention here what would you like to leave them with?
For everybody to get in the best shape you can, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Do something positive every day you can in the best way you can, in the spirit of what you believe to be a higher spirit. And again, to make it clear, I mean, I was killing environmental legislation during the height of the environmental movement. At 28 years old, I was staying at the Willard Hotel in DC and putting my meetings on the Hay Adams. I started to grow up, but I wouldn't know what I know if I wasn't on the other side. And it's a continuing learning process, and you can't stop learning. And don't waste a second of your time, quote, listening to the news, whether it's on radio or TV. They're prostitutes. They're media whores that get paid to put out by their corporate pimps and government whoremasters. It's a waste of time. I used to be on Oprah, The Today Show, Good Morning America, everybody all the time. Got blacklisted when I came out and said the United States would lose the Afghan war. I said if Alexander the Great couldn't pull it off, if the British at the height of the British Empire into the Valley of Death, Road to 600 couldn't pull it off, if the Russians couldn't do it, what makes you think we're going to do? We haven't won a war since World War II. Mm-hmm. And then I came out against the Iraq war. But not one person on the mainstream media talking about peace. You're not allowed to, because they're pieces of crap. So everybody, again, one of the first books I worked on, by the way, when I talk about it, it's not empty words, is Natural Healing, back in the 80s, when this was a new thing. And I have an honorary doctorate from the National University of Health Sciences. So again, get in the best shape you can, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. You're in the fight for your life. And to make the country you want it to become in the spirit of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Because happiness is a dirty word. Not allowed to be happy.
Gerald, I want to thank you for your time today. For any of our listeners that want to read or to hear more from you, that's all available at trendsresearch.com. Of course, on Twitter at Gerald Celente, and of course, trendsinthenews.substack.com. Gerald, thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you for all that you do. I appreciate being on.
Thank you.
This podcast is for general informational purposes only. Nothing on this podcast should be taken as investment advice. Guests on this show are not compensated for their appearance. Listeners are urged to educate themselves and make their own decisions. Do not base any investment decisions on the information contained. To view our full disclaimer, please visit our website.